everyone, and welcome! Adventurer, you couldn't have come at a better time. The preparations for restoring the ward are in place. I'm pleased to report, and with our practiced efficiency, we've established a base camp on practically the doorstep of the students' headquarters. Now, in keeping with tradition, the region in which the camp lies has been given a name. Now, I'm going to preface this. I'm probably going to say its name wrong a few times because I constantly call it Hydatos. It's Hydatos. So, fingers crossed I don't make that mistake over and over. Hydatos. A reference to its watery disposition. God's willing, this will be last corner. God's willing, this will be last corner. I think you meant to put the last corner of the island that the expedition will need to contend with. But without further ado, let me know when you're ready to head over. Mistress Kryl is very keen to resume her efforts with your help. Yep, Eureka Hydatos is now available. You now have access to Forbidden Land, Eureka Hydatos, like Animos, Pagos, and Pyros. Hydatos can be explored in parties of up to 8 players or solo. Embark on your journey to Hydatos. To embark, speak with Rodney, FPR1 in Kugane. Please be advised that all excursions into the Forbidden Land, Eureka Hydatos, are item level synced. Gear exceeding item level 300 will be adjusted. Alright, before we go in though, I want to point out, first of all, I saw this guy back here, which shows one of the things I wanted to point out. All the new items and so we have Kieran Osodi of fending, maiming, striking, scouting, aiming. This one passes me by, I don't know the reference to this. But annoyingly, it looks really cool. And requires 2 cryptic seals, which obviously are going to be something, well, dropped by something in Eureka. And something that... I had a hair in my mouth. Anywho, something that will be very familiar to people from Final Fantasy XI, or honestly anyone who has the minion. Yeah, it's the Vermilion Cloak. Cloak? Is it? Yes. Which kinda looks icky on Lalafels, as you normally do, because it hides the hair. But you could have kind of guessed that. It looks nicer on the minion, in my opinion. Pinion? You get the idea. Flop. So, before we head in, I wanted to quickly show off, because there's a lot of very interesting items that we currently don't know how to get. But they are interesting nonetheless. And it'll only take us a second, and then we can get straight into the full story. So... No, not Marauder. Dark Knight, the Great Shin Zantetsuken. Basically, something people have been asking for a while. Even though it's a lighter version, Zantetsuken for Dark Knights. And similarly, Shin Zantetsuken, a Zantetsuken for Samurai. Although it looks really weird on the waist because it is like really obviously floating off. It's a little less noticeable when you've got gear on, but still a bit odd. No idea how we'll get them yet. You do see a Jika using something that looks like Zantetsuken, so it could be related to the Eureka Fate. Anywho, we also have... Oh, I was going to put it in one, don't need to. Absolute Lance, which is very obviously going to have something to do with absolute virtue. And Penny's Spear, which is an intriguing one. Is that going to be added into Pyros? Or is it still going to be something we can get from Hydatos? We will see. And if I recall correctly, the only thing left is Shantoto's staff, which actually looks really nice. All of these being level 1 as well is awesome. Makes them really useful glamour pieces. I suppose there's also the mount that you get from Cheese Petrel, from likely either the bunnies or the water-locked boxes. And I can't remember the name of the last one, but it's basically an emote. Let's see if I can quickly find it. Yes! An illustrated manual of how to not express your enthusiasm for mashed potatoes in the middle of the dinner course. I imagine this is going to be from the waterlock boxes. The mount is going to be from the bunnies. Also, 2 minions, Conditional Virtue, and Yukino Snowflake. No Galka, which is really disappointing. You had, not Slowy, where is it? You had a Mithra, you had a Taru, an Elven, and then no Galka. I can understand here not being included, but Galka seems like a weird one. Anywho, let's get back over to Rodney, and we can actually get in there. I just wanted to show them off because it would only take me like a few seconds, and I thought it was interesting enough. There's a lot of like really nice glamour pieces, so hopefully they're not super hard to get. Also, if you couldn't tell, yes, I'm using the Eureka gear, even though I'm not a big fan of it. I wanted to use it in some interesting way, so I used it with Matoya's hat. Journey to the Forbidden Land, Eureka Hydatos. Alright, wet. Looks snowy, don't like that. Wet. The Forbidden Land, Eureka Hydatos. In question mark, question mark, question mark. Well, I mean, technically it's in Eureka. Why is it snowing? Why did it have to be snowing? It's literally at the weather right now is like a blizzard. It is snowing. What the hell? I wanted out of the snowy hellscape, not into it. First things first. Nice! Central point. You have attuned yourself to an Ethernet shard and now have access to the region's Ethernet. Additional shards can be found throughout the Forbidden Land, Eureka. Attune to them to facilitate faster travel throughout the land. Or island. Oh my god, you can't see anything. There's one all the way over there. And one all the way over there. See, that's nice. They're really far apart. I don't know what the map looks like yet. But I like that they... I'm worried about this area not having any way. But we'll see how... Actually, it's over there. Yeah, over there seems to be that. So that would make sense that there's not one there. Anyhow, let's go talk to Krell. Get a good angle. Ever a sight for sore eyes, Alex. By now, it's no secret we can't well continue our work without you. I've forgotten what her voice was. As always, let us begin by taking stock of the situation. Through our previous investigations, we learned that the founders had sealed away the primal Eureka on this isle. However, Ajika then came along and, acting at Eureka's behest, sabotaged the proto-etherite, what may be considered the beating heart of the ward, on account of which the ward has ceased to function. For a blessing, we discovered a way to restore it by infusing magicite with copious amounts of ether to create a new focal point. It took considerable time and effort, but the preparations are now ready. All that remains is to reach the primal and seal it away once more. Easy. Yeah, sure. In order to do that, as per our original objective, we must gain entry to the students' headquarters. However, this has been rendered complicated, not complete, owing to a number of factors. Aside from lying beyond impassable terrain, the structure is protected by a ward of its own. Did you ever doubt it? Ordinarily, members of the students are able to teleport inside, but the high concentration of ether we've measured makes doing so extremely dangerous. We must ascertain the conditions first, or we risk not emerging from the live stream. So I've a mind to enter via the back door, as it were. Yet this method of ingress too isn't without its problems, but it's better to explain it out in the field. And that's where we stand. Now, before we set out, there's one last matter I'd like to attend to. You see, I had tasked the expedition scholar with researching legends pertaining to Eureka. Call it a scholar's hunch, but I thought that a hint might be scrounged from amongst the tales. But come, let us see what the good scholar has dug up for us. Cool. Greetings, Mr. Trial, Master Alexander. May I assume you have come about the legends? Indeed we have. Did your efforts bear fruit? They did, I'm pleased to say. First of all, it must be noted that there are several legends describing the Forbidden Land Eureka. Despite their many divergences, however, all are united in one detail, that Eureka was a repository for transcendent weapons hidden beneath the Crystal Tower. Okay, yeah. Combining this fact with your account of Eureka's avatar forging a blade for Master Ajika, Mistress Ajika, I almost forgot about that, I'm led to conclude that the Primal possesses the ability to create weapons. Weapons forged by a Primal, put in the hands of mortals. What could possibly go wrong? In his visions, Master Alexander heard the words, "Exposure places the bearer's very soul at hazard," did he not? I take that to mean those who wield such weapons are at risk of becoming the Primal's vessel. This calls to mind Urianger's report on the dark divinity Odin and his sword Zantetsuken. The Primal was not the rider, but the weapon. Odin is said to have appeared during the age of the Allegan Empire. It may well be that Zantetsuken was forged by Eureka. Recognizing this danger, the Allegans sealed Eureka's weapons beneath the Crystal Tower, and this gave rise to the myriad legends of a forbidden land. Curious though, assuming Eureka was born of prayers, one would expect a deity the likes of Beergut to manifest, a brawny smith working the forge. Yet what we have is a primal possessor of an autonomous avatar, which goes around promising power and glory. Not the kind of entity that would arise from homespun legends. No, it feels too purposeful, calculated. That hat. But such musings are for another time. I have some few things to prepare in order to make use of the aforementioned back door. In the meantime, would you go and pay Gerald a visit? Can do. I understand he's devising yet more ways to ease your labours. Come and find me when you're done speaking with him. A moment, Master Alexander. There is one matter I wish to speak with you about. It pertains to the members of the students believed trapped inside the headquarters. We've been speaking of rescue, but based on what we know, that may be an overly optimistic view. The concentration of ether we've measured inside the tower is, to be blunt, not conducive to life. Certainly not over long periods. And all this time there's been no observed movement from within. Of course, the students are knowledgeable and skilled folk, and they may have found some way to survive. But even as we cling to this hope, we should prepare ourselves for the worst. Forgive me for bothering you with gloomy talk. I won't keep you any longer. Pray go and seek Master Gerald. Okie dokie. Also, it stopped snowing! There he is. Alright, so I almost forgot to show this off when I was showing off the other things. Where is it? So these 3 achievements are for clearing the Baldesian Arsenal, which is the dungeon at the end of all this. And the reward for clearing it once is the Demi-Osma Mount. Amazingly. This conveniently sized result of experimentation on the part of the students of Baldesian may not be entirely stable enough to safely ride, but there's only one way to find out. So, as soon as I saw that this was a thing, I 100% thought this was going to be a drop, even if it's a guaranteed drop, a drop for completing the Baldesian Arsenal that everyone had to roll on. So that would be you against a potential 55 other people. Amazingly enough, it's not. It's actually a free reward for clearing it once. Not saying clearing it once is easy, but Jesus, that's actually really generous. Or is it? We don't know how tough the dungeon is, so... Oh, hello Drake. Well met, sir. I assume you've come to have some logograms approved. But you find us in the process of recalibrating the equipment. Shouldn't be too much longer. Okie dokie. Gerald then. Oh my god, I just... Look at the weather! It went from snowstorm to... that! Everything's sort of crow. Good, good. As before, I've got a bunch of things to catch you up on. Prick up your ears and listen. I need to remove that hat for cutscenes. First, regarding the Logos manipulator. We've improved the vitals we use to store transubstantiated memes, meaning you can carry on more of this stuff. The Expedition Alchemist can tell you all about it. Next, your Magia board. If you was already impressed with 6 pieces of Magicite, rejoice! We can now augment the thing to hold 7 stones. If you talk to the expedition engineer, he'll fix you up right wise. Yeah, well, I don't have 6. And last but not least, my favourite topic. No, not me goddamn debt, you cheeky bloody sod. Weapons! I've found a way to make your weapons even stronger. If this tickles your fancy, you just let me know. Well, yeah, obviously. Oh, and while you're here... Try! Get your ass over here and tell the man about the logograms. Sir, I am pleased to inform you that we have discovered new varieties of logograms here in Hydatos. Certain combinations of these may yield heretofore unseen memes, and I encourage you to experiment with the logograms you come upon. Yeah! So, this is looking to be the final stage of the expedition. I've stuck with you all this way, so don't go disappointing me now, eh? See the job finished. From myself as well, sir, I wish you the best of luck in your endeavours here. Right, everything what needed saying's been said. If you want to know about weapon enhancement, we can talk now. Otherwise, you can piss off back to trial. Upon recording 56 or more unique entries in your Logos action log and speaking with Drake, you will be able to acquire new items, which is the upgrade to the armor. Which is weird because it says 56 or more and there's only 56. That's suspicious as hell. Please be advised that these items will only become available after you have gained access to the Eureka armor offered by the Expedition Artisan in North Point. So in Pyros. Yes, I'm obviously going to activate this now. You know, looking back, we've come a long way. And if the talk round camp's true, here's where the journey ends. Listen to me trying to wax chaotic. Feels like hot turds tumbling out of me bloody mouth. Let's get on with it, eh? So, last time we strengthened the weapon by infusing it with memes. Stuff turned into bursting with the power of memories. Well, there's no room left for more memes. We can fortify what's already there. And that's precisely what we're going to do. Using ether from crystals and the like. Yep, same as always. Word of warning though. Once we get started on a weapon, you won't be able to improve it with a meme works or at the meme work station. That's until we finished augmenting it at any rate. Just bear that in mind. And that's the long and short of it. Off you go then. Get me the materials we need and I'll get to work. Once you begin enhancing a Pyros weapon, you will be temporarily unable to imbue it with additional properties. Imbuing will become available again once the weapon has undergone all available upgrades in Hydatos. That's kind of what I presumed would happen anyways. So, I'm not even got it equipped because I got so sick of what I did do. That's the stat it's going to be stuck with. Not bad critical. The rest, okay. Alright. What do we need? 50 Hydatos crystals. That doesn't sound bad. So, I think if I recall, there are 3 separate steps. Gloom. There are 3 separate steps to the weapon in here. No fates yet. Well, no notorious monsters, I suppose. Everything sorted with Gerald? Excellent. Let us set out at once. Is what I'd like to say, but I'm afraid I need more time to complete my task. or tasks. Rather than standing idle at camp though, might I suggest you acquaint yourself with the area outside. I should be able to complete my tasks meanwhile. You may continue the Eureka expedition upon reaching elemental level 51. Alright, that doesn't seem too bad. So let's step outside and unlock a tiny bit of the map. Oh, big bit of the map. So yeah, we've got a lot of work ahead of us. Obviously I'm not going to end the video here. I'm going to do the level 51 story, then I might end it. We'll see. Depends if it's like 52 or 53 for the one after. Anyways, see you in a sec when we continue. Is that normal? That doesn't look normal. Anywho, as you can see, we've hit 51. We've unlocked the next bit of story. From what I've heard, apparently the next one after this is 54, so we might be ending it with this one. At least ending this part with this one. Anywho, Krail, what do you got to say? Apologies for the wait. We now have everything we need to make use of the back door. To be sure, there is still a couple of things that require doing out there. First, let us head to the central columns. It's due south of here, at the Val river source. I'll explain everything once we arrive. Oh, and I should mention that from this point on, I'll be delegating the bulk of my duties to the good scholar. If you ever want for guidance, she's the first person you should seek out. Without further ado then. Oh, you don't eat in the gloomiest of gloom. Oh, they're back again. Alright, so... Oh, it actually has it marked on the map. That's a rarity. I suppose it is a quest, so... makes sense. Alright. This way looks safest. But I've been wrong before. So far, I wouldn't say I'm hating this. Like, it's early days. But currently, I like the way that this place looks. Oh my god, it's so busy here. Alright, that looks like that might be an opening I can take. If that coil doesn't decide to turn around. Also, laboratory coil. It bloody did turn around as well. Don't be sound, don't be sound. Alright, we're past the first hurdle. I'm guessing we're going to one of the light points. Up, up. Certainly looks like it. Although I don't know. That might be a bit too far away. We'll see in a second. Now the question is, can I actually climb up here? Haha, I can. Now can I climb up here? Oh no, I can't. Even though that looks fairly climbable. Okay, yes, it's 100% here that we're going. Once again, I'm reminded of the Isle's dangers, and how much of a boon you are to our efforts. Without the lessons of your field investigations to draw upon, I don't think I would have made it here in one piece. So, the back door. It's an ether bridge that conveys you to the tower's entrance, built for those who lack the ability to teleport. It's usable by those with special permission, and right now it's not usable at all due to the obstruction in the live stream. In order to restore operation, we must repair 3 sets of columns on the ether bridge. This requires that we seek out spots of pooled ether. Ooh! And deploy these regulators to restore the flow. I would be grateful if you could assist with this task. As normal, according to my research of the nearby area, the ether has pooled in 2 locations along the river source, one in the north and another in the south. I will search in the north. If you would do likewise in the south, you should have luck looking east of the ether bridge foundation. Alright, stick that in your pocket. Alright, so I was lucky before to get that marked. I think it's over here. So I'm not going to run over unless I can manage that in some sort of practical sense. But generally, yeah, let's skip over to finding it, because there's an off chance that I'm going to head there and be like, oh crap, it's not here, which I've done before. Then again, I could just walk there and get it right. So, fingers crossed. Oh, I see something in the distance. Pooled ether. 2530. I did have to walk around a little bit. It looks cool. Aww. You deploy the regulator at the spot of pooled ether. It appears to have immediate effect. Good. Ah, back over there. I was gonna say, are we heading back to the entrance? Well, base camp. Or are we heading back to the center? Center it is. Skip. And we're back. Kryl, how'd it go? By my readings, I presume you've found and rectified the pooled ether. Excellent. With some minor adjustments, these columns will be in good order again. This may take a little time though, so sit tight for now. Or go and spite the local wildlife if you prefer. I'd certainly welcome fewer of them snapping at my heels. You may continue the Eureka expedition upon reaching elemental level 54. Oh, interesting, yeah. Alright. So, yeah, it was like I said. So with that then, we will end it here. So, pretty interesting start. I don't really have much to say. I noticed that this area is super void of like life. Also, the map is like so much better. That I've already gotten because it's 51. Don't know what this is. Maybe 54? We'll find out. Anywho, thank you very much for watching part 1 of Eureka Hydatos. And I'll see you next time for part 2 and more Kryl and Hopefully it doesn't snow. Bye bye! With my stupidly ridiculously big hat.